Hello friends, welcome to Shauna Stitches. I'm Shauna. This is episode 27 of my series called State of the Stash. If you are new here, State of the Stash is my special series where I focus on talking about all the yarn that came in and out of my stash in a given month. This is going to be discussing January of 2025. It is a new year, big surprise, and I see a lot of people are having goals of either no buy or low buy years, and a lot of you have joined in with me with your own versions of State of the Stash. So I think that's really awesome. Welcome to the club, if you will, and I hope that being accountable and knowing what comes in and out of your stash helps you be a little bit more mindful in what you decide to purchase. As I said, I'm going to be talking about all the things that I finished in January of 2025. For me, that is the yarn out. And then anything that came into my stash in 2025 so far for January. Very early on in the month, I did receive a yarn order. I was really hoping that this order was going to come in the very last days of December so that I wouldn't have to start the year at a negative. But the mailman was not nice to me. So, if you notice, our bin was missing here. This is already my acquisition for 2025. This is for a secret project, so I can't tell you the intentions behind it, but I will tell you a little bit about the yarn. This is all Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted, and this color is Dove Heather. If you notice down here, what's in the bag, that is all also Dove Heather. And then I have a lot of other colors to go with it. This one is Sweet Lavender, Pink Posy, this one is just red, Blackberry, Marina, Creme Brulee. I really like this color, and I also really like the name of that color. This one is Aloe Heather. And last but not least, Wonderland Heather. So all of these are going to be used in a project together. I don't even think I can hold them all. It's a lot. Yep, see, I'm dropping them already. So there are all the colors that I'll be using in this project. And so I will be able to tell you what the project is later, just not yet. So be on the lookout for that. All in all, what's in my bin here, once I get it all back in, this was 950 grams into my stash. So yeah, quite a way to start out the year. Like I said, not how I wanted to start the year, but hopefully that bin, you'll start to see it shrink and shrink. Okay, now let's talk about some things that I finished. And I should say that was my only acquisition for January, so not terrible. The first thing that I finished was a Timbo vest. This is a sleeveless top, 2 colors. I used Knit Picks, I was going to say Wool of the Andes, that's not correct. This is Knit Picks Wonderfluff. The blue here is Ripple Heather. It looks so much like that Wonderland Heather. I kind of thought it was going to be the same color. Awfully close, but not quite. So I originally had 3 skeins of this, and then Moose Heather is the other color, and I also had 3 skeins of that. I used just under half of what I ordered, and I ordered like what I should have ordered. But this only used 177 grams out of stash. I have fuzzies on my vest. This yarn is so soft, so squishy. I love it. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. This is bulky weight. So the Timbo vest is meant for a bulky weight yarn. And I love this. It is so warm, so nice. I would definitely use this yarn again. The next thing that I finished is the Souffle top. And this is a top knit all out of mohair. I was hoping to get long sleeves, but I ended up with about 3/4 sleeves because I used almost every single little scrap of the yarn that I had left. In total, this used 206 grams, and the extra that I have, so I'm over 206, I only had technically 200 grams to start. So 50 gram skeins, I had 4 of them. Some of them were just a little bit heavier than others. So for my size, I would have needed probably another 50 grams to get full length sleeves. If you're thinking that I finished this super fast because you didn't even see it, no, that's not the case. This was a old languishing whip for me, started January of 2023 and finished January of 2025. So very happy to have this off the needles. One less whip in my project queue. And yes, 206 grams out of stash. I had one more finished object in January, and those are my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. I am participating again for a 3rd year in the annual Desert Vista Dyeworks Knit Along. This year it's called Earning My Degree with DVD or something like that. It's slightly different than what's happened in years past, but the objective is still the same, where you knit 1 skein of yarn using at least half the skein per month. So I started these on January 1st and I finished them, I didn't write it down, like January 29th or 30th. I honestly did not think I was going to get them done. The pattern is Woolly Waffles by Stephen West, and there you see it has a waffly texture. The color is When I'm 64, and it is a speckle instead of a stripe. Really happy these are done. So let's see, that was 83 grams, these right here, 83 grams out of stash. I feel like that is a pretty good stack of finished objects for a month, but if you know me, you know that it doesn't feel like enough. But if you have watched some of my recent episodes, I've been struggling with finger pain, swelling, and joint pain or something. I don't really know. I'm supposed to see a hand specialist later this month in February, and hopefully they have some answers for me. But that's meant that I have had some days where I hardly knit at all, and I have changed my knitting style. So where I normally would hold the needles like this, and I'm an English flicker, I'm holding this finger up so I don't use it, and that has caused some interesting hand fatigue and other things to where it just has really slowed me down. So that being said, for all those things and reasons, I feel like that is a pretty good stack of finished objects. In total, I had 950 grams come into stash, and I had 466 grams go out of stash, for a difference of positive 484 grams. I wish that I didn't start the year with a positive, but I'm really hoping that I'll be able to make some progress, especially on some old projects. That's really one of my goals this year. When I look at my Ravelry stash statistics, if you didn't know, you can download an Excel sheet with all your stash. I've been downloading that at the end of each month to compare to the prior month. And at the end of December, I had 1,151 skeins. And at the end of January, I have 1,166, so that was plus 15. Most of them are going to be sitting right there because those are all 50 gram skeins instead of 100 grams, so it counts as more. For grams, December, I had 88,688 grams, or approximately 887 100 gram skeins. In January, I had 89,390 for a difference of 702 more grams. I know it might be a bit confusing, and this is why sometimes I don't talk about these numbers, because what I told you came into my stash was the 900 and something, 950 for this, and then it would end up being 484, but yet I'm telling you it's a difference of 702. So when I work on an old project, that old project yarn was never put into Ravelry, so to then take it out, I have to put it in, if that makes any sense at all. I know it's confusing to me, so I bet it's a bit confusing to you, but just know that until I get those old projects dealt with, those numbers are not going to match. I cannot wait for them to match someday. The last stat I'll share with you is how many yards and the difference in yards. December was 368,866 yards, and January 370,144 for a difference of 1,278 yards increase for January. So that is all of my State of the Stash stats for January 2025. Looking forward to February, I have signed up for a monthly, daily, I don't know what you want to call it. I'm getting a mini every single day in 2025. I think it will actually go through January of 26, maybe. But I signed up for a mini club through Cuddle Bums, and they are out of the UK, so I should get my first package for February, which you'll see next month, 5 grams a day. And I'll be putting those into my Cozy Memories blanket, which unfortunately will not come out technically out of my stash until after the project's done. So hopefully that doesn't set me back completely for the year. But that being said, I feel like I've done a really good job at, when I want to start a project, I'm going to my stash first. And even when I think I haven't found something, I keep looking until I do find something that I can hopefully mold into whatever it is that I want to make. I didn't show you. I did actually swatch. There is my swatch with the wool of the Andes worsted. And I believe I got gauge. I measured it before I washed it, but I haven't measured it since. So I need to do that, and I need to cast this on sooner than later. Have you ever done one of these swatches where you, every other row, you pull the loop and you knit from the loop instead of carrying it across the back? I just started doing that technique, and while I don't love this so much, what I do love is you can still frog this and use it if you need to, and you only have one side of the swatch that is kind of messy. The other side looks pretty good. Although what I do end up with this side is it's kind of tight, whereas this one's kind of loose. But obviously I'm just measuring the gauge in the middle, so I do like that. If you haven't tried it, I do suggest it. I like it better than where you carry the loop across the back. So, and it mimics knitting in the round. So anyway, I think that's all I have to share with you today. Good luck on your yarn journey wherever you're at and whatever you're deciding to do this year. I hope that you are finding success. One last thing, because I forgot to mention it, I'm wearing the Mabel sweater by Joji Locatelli. This is an all-over waffle stitch pattern, and it is based on Mabel from Only Murders in the Building. The color is Light Rose Gold by Nitty McPurley. All right, I do think that's it now. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.